Bob Foulkrod's chasing whitetails in Wisconsin, the land of book bucks and big dreams.
I have no idea what that deer's going to score, but I think I'm going to kill him.
It's a fantastic hunt to go to, and it's a privilege just to be able to come out here and be able to hunt with Paul.
That's him, that's him, that's what we're looking for.
Winchester.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work. She Outdoor Apparel, her adventure starts here. Ram, there are a lot of places to go in this big wide world, and the new Ram Outdoorsman can get you to every one of them. Hunter Specialties, the world's largest supplier of hunting accessories. And by Otis Technology, the most advanced gun care systems in the world.
It's encouraging to see a lot of young bucks. That's next year's bucks right there and the year after. First day in Wisconsin, shotgun season. We got in here real early. You could hear deer fighting it, when it was too dark to see. But right now we got deer all over us.
This hunt's happening in the heart of America's Dairyland, just west of Green Bay, where Bob's looking to put the squeeze on a Badger State bruiser.
When does a hunt really start? I guess this hunt started several years ago when I was at the Whitetail Challenge and I met Paul Keller and Tammy and Seth. And every once in a while something just clicks where you just want to go back and spend time with them.
My name is Paul Keller. I own some property in central Wisconsin and invited a friend of mine up here, Bob Foulkrod, to hunt whitetails with us this year. Whitetail hunting for me is pretty much a year-round thing. I'm already preparing for next year, trying to think of new ways to attract deer, different food plot mixtures, that sort of thing. New trail cameras, different places to put them, stands, you name it.
We got invited back. Paul's got a very unique area in here that he manages. He's in quality deer management, and I've never seen anyone be more enthused about their deer herd. So to get ready for the hunt, obviously we start in Pennsylvania and we try different ammo. Going to Wisconsin for their shotgun season. Right now I'm going to try two different ammos. They're both 300 grain, one's 2 3/4, one's 3-inch, and we're going to shoot her down there at 100 yards and see which one groups the best, and then I'll make up my mind which one I'm taking to Wisconsin. That's not too bad. Let's try the 3-inch now. You know what? I think I'll let you decide which one we're going to take to Wisconsin. Which one would you take to Wisconsin?
Both patterned well for Bob and performed as they should have. The 2 3/4 load, however, based upon how the scope is set, is probably the better choice for this trip.
I used a 2 3/4 last time I went to Wisconsin.
Bob knows his way around the Wisconsin deer woods, recently taking a big buck off the ground with his Winchester and earning congratulations all around. And the last time Bob hunted with Paul, they got a wide, heavy-horned, all-American 10-pointer to come in range. Then Bob lined him up and put him on the ground. And not long after that, he put him up on the Keller's trophy wall.
Well, we get up early that first day, and Tammy's job was that she's going to take us out to the stand, drop Paul and I both off, and then bring the four-wheeler back. I bet Paul wasn't there an hour and a half, and we hear the gun go off one time, and you go, yep, that's Paul, he's got his buck down. And I should have had a deer down about that same amount of time in that hour and a half.
God, that's a beautiful 8-point. Holy jeez. Oh man, that's beautiful 8-point. See, the thing is, it doesn't take much to make me happy. The anticipation's killing me. But this old 8-point, that's a mature deer.
Well, when we show up, Paul's got good news and he's got bad news. Obviously, the good news is he's got hundreds of pictures of deer that he sent us. Bad news is the corn is still up.
Yeah, typically the corn is harvested by this time. We had a really wet fall. October was a lot of rain.
I mean, you know what it is when the corn's still standing, and those deer, it's like a jungle for them. It's a sanctuary. They go in there, and with any pressure at all, they just go nocturnal onto you. So that was the good news and that was the bad news, but you know, whatever the news was, it was good to be here.
Long before the fans in Lambeau Field were putting giant wedges of cheese on their heads, the tradition of whitetail hunting in the Badger State was already well established. Prior to white settlement, the Santee Dakota Indians of Wisconsin's southern prairies depended on whitetails for meat and hides. 160 years ago, Wisconsin began enacting game laws to protect its valuable deer resource. And today, there are nearly 1,100 typical and non-typical Wisconsin bucks in the Boone and Crockett record books, including the famous and long-standing former #1 typical, the James Jordan buck, taken in 1914. Nowadays, from the big north woods to suburban habitats, whitetail hunting remains a family affair for hundreds of thousands of Wisconsinites, worth over $1 billion to the state's economy.
That's a beautiful deer right there. And I have no idea what that deer's going to score, but I think I'm going to kill him.
This deer walked out and I looked at him and go, oh, that's a pretty nice deer.
Oh, he's high and pretty. That's a good deer.
And you have to understand, Paul's got these pictures of these gigantic bucks, and it doesn't take a lot of buck to make me happy. It's just all these emails and all these big bucks are flashing through my mind, and I should have got more aggressive than I did, but anyway, he walked across the field.
Beautiful, beautiful buck. The problem is I know what's here. I hope I don't regret that. I should have got a little aggressive with him and shot him. He's gonna go up in that other field and check things out. I can't imagine having deer bigger than what that one was right there.
And we sat there for 12 hours, and you know, he'd come back down. We got a glimpse of him off into the woods again, and we got a pretty nice 8-point, and I was kind of talking myself maybe to shooting this 8-point, but I knew any second this deer was gonna walk out, and he didn't. It got dark on us, and when I came back, Paul said, oh, that's a good buck, you couldn't get him. And I go, well, I probably could have, but I was looking at these other pictures, you know, and I knew I messed up.
I have no idea how many bucks we've seen today. Put a pile of them.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Ram. There are a lot of places to go in this big wide world, and the new Ram Outdoorsman can get you to every one of them. And by Redhead, finest in the field since 1856. When Bob Foulkrod heads to the Wisconsin whitetail woods, he does it with confidence that his Ram Outdoorsman is more than up to the task of hitching, hauling, and bulling his way through every challenge. With a 5.7-liter Hemi V8 engine, there's power to spare, no matter where the season takes this Hall of Famer and all the guns, gear, and toys he brings along and stores on board. When he's pulling high-performance miles on the open road, Bob knows he's got the truck to get the job done. Because this outdoorsman's ready for anything. This hunting season's taking Bob to a lot of demanding places, and the new Ram Outdoorsman's ready to get him to and from all of them, and everywhere in between.
Had a whole bunch of turkeys in. Talking up a storm. They're already getting a little cautious. We had a few come in the field. They smelled it as they were seeing us sitting in this blind. Probably smelled this one.
This was a real special hunt. I had a young lady, her name was Emily. She was out here in October. They had a special hunt set up for the kids, and they stayed down to Paul's bunkhouse. And I had shot a deer with archery the year before, and I actually had it mounted, and it hangs on the wall down there. When she came in, she says, "I seen him on TV." And she makes these little angels, and it's pretty unique. She's got a pretty rare disease, and when you sit there and she made these little angels, I mean, they hung on the deer horns. I mean, immediately I took it down and put one on my hat. I put the other one in my pocket, and we had it set up so if we did get something, hopefully she could come down and meet us and talk to us. And I don't know how we got on the subject, but she sat there and she goes, "You know," she said, "when I'm hunting, I feel so alive." I wished everyone could explain that feeling, what it means to be a hunter, and especially for her, and seeing what she has to go through just to be able to go out there and hunt.
She had to sneak up on this one.
Yeah, I saw that.
She'd never done
That's my
that before.
first time. No, it's fun.
It looks like you did a good job.
One shot.
Having that little angel in the field with me, and whether it brought me luck or it didn't, I would say that it did.
I have no idea how many bucks we've seen today. But a pile of them. It's been an exciting day. Nothing else to do today. Tomorrow's a different day, though. Been kind of slow this morning. I've seen a couple little bucks. The wind is in it. They catch us over here, they catch our scent. He's just still out cruising, that boy is. That's one of them bucks that need to be shot. It's a good thing I don't have two tags. It's a fairly young deer, too. He's gonna walk right up here before we get just slapping.
By the time a big buck shows up in front of Bob, he already knows he's put in the time and picked out the best tool to get the job done right.
Oh, whoa, we got ourselves a Wisconsin buck right there. We blew the lungs right out of him. As I put a target in back of this, and so when I pull this off, it basically going to tell me where it went through at. You know, right case. You've seen his lungs fly out of him, which was glycerin and food coloring, folks. It wasn't really lungs. But I can put that up there, and I can look and I can see exactly where that bullet came out at. Find that front shoulder, and that's what you aim at. You always aim at the back leg on the opposite side of the deer. And if you can hit that back leg on the opposite side of the deer, you've got yourself an animal.
It's 1:05. Started to rain a little bit. Now the sun's shining. It's been pretty slow today. We've seen a couple small bucks chasing. The rut's just about, well, I guess it is over. We got some small stuff chasing, so the does aren't going to bring him out. Quite a lot of shooting all the way around this. But it's been a long sit so far.
You know, people say sometimes, hunting's a lot of luck, and I always sit there and sometimes you make your own luck by, the experiences and things that you've learned ahead of time, and hunting a piece of property that doesn't have a lot of pressure onto it. But Now it's unseasonably warm, the corn's still standing. I should have shot that deer the first day. You hear shooting all around us and you're wondering whether that deer went nocturnal. Here comes that buck that we seen the first day, and he walked up there and he's bristling up and his ears are laying back.
That's him, that's what we're looking for right there.
I didn't mess with him today. I knew I was going to shoot this deer.
There we go.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work. Redhead, finest in the field since 1856. She Outdoor Apparel, her adventure starts here. And by Hunter Specialties, the world's largest supplier of hunting accessories. Bob Foulkrod's hunting Wisconsin with good friend and landowner Paul Keller.
He's got so many deer and they come from all directions. You really got to get up in the air, and we keep the windows closed, trying to keep our scent down as much as possible. It's a fantastic hunt to go to, and it's a privilege just to be able to come out here and be able to hunt with Paul. You can't hardly wait to get up in the morning and go back out in the stand, which we did, and it was like whiteout.
I can see some shadows of some deer moving out there, but I have no idea what they are.
Man, it was like, you know, we should be seeing out, you know, it's 7 o'clock and it's foggy, and then it gets 8 o'clock and it's still foggy, 9 o'clock it's still foggy, you can't even see across the field. Then finally it cleared around, I don't know, 10, quarter after 10, and there was a few does, and the turkeys was out pecking around, and they'd come and go. And
Almost 11 o'clock. One of the slowest days we've had so far.
it was like the does started coming out around 1:30, quarter to 2, and I said, it's going to be a good night. And I seen a little 6 or an 8 point come out, and then a 9 point, nice 9 point, one of them deer that, you know, you'd like to see what he's going to look like next year or the year after. And I'm sitting there watching him, and then just out of nowhere, here comes that buck that we seen the first day, and he walked up there and he's bristling up and his ears are laying back.
That's him, that's what we're looking for right there.
I didn't mess with him today. I knew I was going to shoot this deer.
Bob's lining up this buck with Winchester's devastating and popular XP3 Slug, complete with a polymer tip for extreme accuracy, a copper alloy jacket that provides deep penetration, and massive expansion on impact that delivers a crushing energy release.
I think I pretty near knocked him sideways, and you could see him, he's trying to get his balance and he's running. And I watched him go by that one rock, and I sat there and I go, you're my deer right there.
Big old buck right there. That's a lot of hard work that old Paul put in, I want to tell you. That'd make a nice addition to the trophy room down there.
Well, when Emily came down and I actually seen the girl that made the little angels that I took in the field with me, it was a special time. And then to listen to her tell her story about what hunting means to her. Obviously she can't be a cheerleader, or she can't play basketball or volleyball or any of the sports like a lot of her girls her age are doing. So when she takes up hunting and she looks at you with almost tears in her eyes and saying, when I'm out there hunting with my dad or whoever I'm with, I feel so alive.
Now, it's a little ranch house that Paul's got where we stay, and she made me an angel. Actually, she made me 2 angels. Thought maybe it'd bring me good luck. I had one on the side of my hat and I had this one in the pocket. There are little indentations right here, and I believe these are your fingers, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is my little angel, and she had absolutely brought me good luck, as you can see from the deer. Yeah. How about that? This will be here. We're going to mount this one and put it down in the lodge too. Yeah. But I think I'll keep the one on my hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think about, here's a girl that has to carry a oxygen bottle around and to help her breathe, and she gets tired easy, and she can just see her eyes just light up and twinkle, just like maybe a kid at Christmas time, and she's telling you, I feel so alive. I mean, if that don't touch you, you're not human.
Winchester Ammunition introduces the all-new Winchester.com, featuring hot new graphics, hunting and shooting tips, and improved information on all ammunition products. And if you're into ballistics, check out the most advanced ballistics calculator in the industry, and then download it as an app for your iPhone and carry it with you into the field. Whether you're a hunter, shooter, or both, when it comes to online resources, Winchester is the industry leader. www.winchester.com.